Hey, this is Ronnie with By Way of Charleston, and tonight I am doing fried green tomatoes. So with our Gullah Gourmet fried green tomatoes package, and really what it says to do, I've never done this before, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And I'm gonna I have my oven going and my oil's starting to go down. But it says to slice them up and put them in water and then dredge them and then fry. And then I'm just gonna put them on this rack and put them in the oven just to keep them warm and keep them crisp. Again, I have my trusty wine, which is always not included. So I got my tomatoes started here. So I'm just slicing those up and I'm keeping them fairly even. But they're definitely, these are local, obviously, to South Carolina, but they're definitely green and very firm. I think that that's the key to this, is to have them nice and firm, because that's how they hold up so well in the oil. And so I'm really excited about these. We're having bratwurst tonight. You can see this one's starting to get a little bit ripe, but we're having bratwurst tonight, and I thought, you know, fried green tomatoes might go good with that. So I'm just slicing them up. I'm gonna get them into the water, and then we'll get the dredge going, fry them up, and yeah, you can see this one's already starting to get a little ripe. But that's okay. It'll work for us. Springtime is really, for doing them from home, is really the only time to do these. I think the reason we're putting them in water is because that just kind of gets them moist so that the dredge will stick. So I mean, I'm not doing anything more than just putting in some water here. These tips though I'm not going to do because they're the ends. And my oil is going. I'm going to turn that down a little bit just because I don't want to be too hot. And you want the oil to be good and hot only because then when the tomatoes hit the oil, they'll crisp up very quickly. The outside starts to cook, and they don't like soak up the oil and get greasy and soggy on the inside. So that's kind of the real key here, is to make sure that your oil is good and hot. But I'm just taking our mix that you can get at By Way of Charleston, like I, with most of the recipes that I do. And again, just gonna put them in here, get them dredged up, and then put them in my oil, and that's kind of it, and stick them in the oven until we're ready to eat. And as far as like what you can do with a condiment, some people love having some sort of sauce with them to dip them in, as well as I do. I tend to like, everybody kind of has something a little bit different. To be honest, I like, that's easiest, it's just Thousand Island dressing. I mean, I love Thousand Island dressing anyway. Who doesn't? Right? I mean, Thousand Island dressing. Some people make a ketchup mayonnaise kind of concoction. I don't even know what I have tonight to be able to put on them. Maybe horseradish, homemade like salsa maybe, that could also be good, But I'm kind of gonna let the guys tonight like do whatever they want as far as that's what they do. So I'm gonna do them in small batches just so that my oil I don't overcrowd my pan. But I'm in water. Pull them through the dredge. So this is a very light, like a cornmeal kind of breading. That was the word I was looking for. Oh, see that sizzle? So I'm gonna use my other hand so that I've always got at least one clean one, right? Obviously, I'm not a professional at this. Don't tap me for that kind of stuff. My job's marketing. I don't do this for a living. You're getting for real home cooking here, as far as I'm concerned, as easy as it gets in my house. And to be honest, frying is not something that I do a lot, just because it seems so very like complicated and not even complicated, just it's a mess, and I don't know. I just don't do a lot because it makes a mess, and I don't want to clean up, and it's just complicated to me for like at home. But we're getting these all fried up. I like this this water idea because it gets them, like you can see the coating sticks to them. That's really the point of it. It's not anything other than you can get the coating to stick to it. They're pretty, and I think the reason for that is because green tomatoes are very firm because they're not ripe yet, so they're not super juicy. This is the last one I'm going to put in here before I flip them. Let me use some tongs. Tongs here. One that's going to give me a little wine. Yep. I think this is the one I did. Gonna take a golden brown. Let them go for a little bit. I don't want them sticking to the bottom either, so I'm just moving them around. But my oil, I kind of have it on like medium-high heat, just so that it's good and hot. And all I'm going to do is flip them. Maybe. My poor pans. I need new pans. So these guys have been very trusty. I love this pan in that it's got nice high sides, but I've worked on my pan, and it's a thing. I'm telling you, it's a thing. I'll just leave it at that. These guys have a nice crispiness to them. I can see it happening. But as you can see, because it's kind of cornmeal, so it flakes off very easily. Submerge here. Get in the water. All these are cooking up. While we're at it, I'm going to grab myself a little bit just so I can taste it. And you can see they're going to be hot when they come out. Let's see the hair. That's probably getting another one in there, but I don't want to, once you start putting stuff in your oil, it lowers the heat actually very quickly, and I don't want the heat to come down too much, but they're getting good and crispy and golden brown. And look at that. It's beautiful in it. And I'm just going to stick them in my warm oven. I have my oven on like 170 just to keep them warm while I finish up the batch. But let's get this taste here. Two forks out, but I'm going to give this a taste. Let it cool for a second. This one was one that was a little ripe. But, so it's definitely a cornmeal breading. You can kind of see that. It's hot. Ooh, hot. Definitely a fried green tomato for sure. Now outside, even though it's nice and thin, it's very, very crispy. So you can see, this is as easy as it gets. I mean, you get them in a pot with some oil, fry them up, keep them warm. That's it. So definitely go to By Way of Charleston and get a mix and try these fried green tomatoes.